referee.
Yeah, just give us an all
ball
clear.
to Salford to get the game underway. Josh Jones will be kicking off in a moment. There is Ian Watson in the centre of your screen alongside Willie Poaching. And he's done a remarkable job here at Salford over the years. They have an impressive home record under him since he took over from Iestyn Harris in 2015. A 64% home win percentage. So here we go, 80 minutes. And let's hope for great entertainment. Dry above, a bit muddy underneath, maybe. But the most important thing is we get a good game of rugby league here on a Saturday afternoon.
I'm sure Salford are going to try and really force the game and take it to Warrington. So they are good players, and there's a key responsibility to the man, Robert Louis. I don't think he's played fullback before. I can't remember him playing fullback, but he's the key man for this side. Anything good that's going to happen, it's going to come off the back of him in this game.
Marking instructions out, the man that Terry is talking about is about 30-40 metres behind this play of the ball as Warrington come forward on the first attack of the afternoon. That's Ben Westwood. He gets Warrington almost to halfway on the last tackle. Tyrone Roberts will hoist the kick. Now here's the first touch, I think. Or maybe not. Oh well, it was almost a mess between Daryl Alforts and Robert Louis, but Alforts took complete control.
There are a lot of facets to the role of a fullback within a rugby league team. Communication is one of them, and I dare say when Ian Watson were looking at his options, that was Robert Louis' strength, and that was the reason he's given that fullback role. But Jake Shorrocks, who's come in from Wigan, very impressive youngster. He'll have a little bit of freedom. He's playing at 6. He might well swap and interchange with Jack Littlejohn as well.
From Wigan, and he becomes Salford's 4th debutant in 2018, and the season is just 10 rounds old. Littlejohn with the kick, high and a little bit too long. Ratchford claims it on the full in goal. So it's a restart on the 20 with a tap. There we go.
Time
we will in a moment.
Stefan, we've got to hold. We've still got
Sometimes,
people in
Eddie, you've got to sacrifice that distance, haven't you? You've got to make them into like attacking kicks. Let Salford get up there, try and pressure the likes of Stefan Ratchford, the former Salford favourite. That's how you deal with Josh Jarnley on tackle 1.
Safe catch from Ratchford. I was going to say back on familiar territory, but of course he was a Salford player when they were at the Willows, not when they were here. Kevin Brown goes wide to Ben Curry. The ball is lost forward in the pass and in the tackle. Bryson Goodwin couldn't take the ball in. It was a bit high, it was a bit up round his ears, to be fair.
And it's difficult in these conditions. See Ben Curry tries to pass the ball onto Goodwin, who in turn is met by some pressure. Salford defenders in his eye line.
You know, Terry, looking at this game as a whole, I think it's a game, I know it's only round 10, that the Warrington Wolves need to win to convince people that the disaster of last year is out of their system, that the recent form under Steve Price is the real deal, and that the Warrington Wolves will have a major say in who lifts the trophy at Old Trafford. I think they need to win here. I think the pressure is off Salford. They just need to perform, show that they're going to be a side that's going to battle to get into the 8. But for the Warrington Wolves, even in round 10, I think this match that they're expected to win has become a must-win.
Craig Kopchak here on the ball for Salford. It's his 70th Salford appearance. Josh Wood, a dummy half there wearing number 19, is going to have to do long minutes here today. No Logan Tompkins. Salford surrender possession this time to Ben Curry. Not the best start to this match.
No, Littlejohn, the ball against too hard. Wella Haraki cutting back underneath. In these conditions, Eddie, with a defensive line in front of you, they've got to be soft passes. You've just got to pop the ball up to the man who's in support with you.
Ben Westwood just seems to keep on going. It's his 393rd Super League appearance. He's impressed Stephen Price, Warrington Wolves coach. We've just got a glimpse of him there. He never shows too many emotions. He looks on very stern-faced. Takes his job very seriously indeed. But of course he's charged with bringing Warrington back to the glory days. The Holy Grail, of course, for Warrington is a league championship. Been to Wembley and won there. Here they come now with Josh Charnley, gets the ball back inside. That is a great try from Toby King. They kept this ball alive. I think they're going to ask the video referee, Robert Hicks, just to check that Charnley's feet didn't go into touch before he passed the ball to Toby King.
just asked to check on the grounding in touch. Charnley certainly looked like he timed his pass inside before his foot touched the line. And there's the pass released before he's in touch. Just check on the grounding. The ball goes down, and that's fine. That'll be confirmed.
So Toby King, 6th start in a row at centre. This will be his 5th try in the last 6 matches now. That's why Ryan Atkins finds himself on the bench. The try is confirmed. Warrington off to a good start. Just over 4 minutes on the watch. Toby King gives them the lead of 4-0.
Well, lovely interplay between the centre and winger. Here's the mistake. A bullet pass. It's Wella Haraki in the chest. Warrington get possession. And Darryl Clark is asking for a runner. Looks to the edge. That early ball from Toby King gives the option to Charnley to go himself or commit a defender and just release the centre. These two players set up and scored a similar try against Castleford on Monday.
Doesn't he do a good job, Darryl Clark, when he gets out from dummy half? He skirts across the defensive line. Junior Sal's got eyes for him. All of a sudden he plants his feet. There's space created for that man who turns the ball back inside to Toby King.
He will certainly add something to the Warrington Wolves, little Josh Charnley. Stefan Ratchford, interestingly enough, he keeps the goal-kicking duties, despite the fact that Bryson Goodwin is back in the side. He kicked 5 against Castleford on Monday, but he's missed with his first attempt here today. I don't know whether the 5 he kicked from at Castleford were at the deep end or the shallow end, but whatever.
Well, he missed that one, Eddie, and Darryl Clark given, in my opinion, too much time. Terry Cullis skirting across the foot of the defensive line. Ian Watson would be right to ask why nobody put pressure on Darryl Clark. It must be said Clark will be a standout figure, I believe, for the Warrington Wolves today. His recent form has shown him closer to the player that won the Man of Steel award those years ago. Darryl Clark, we have a genuine superstar of the game of Super League, and I think a man will have a massive impact today.
Here's Chris Hill, the Warrington skipper, bringing the ball out from the kick-off. He hasn't missed a game since last July, Chris Hill, and that's a pretty good report considering he's in the front line where the battle is toughest and hardest. This is Mike Cooper now. Cooper to his feet, plays the ball to Clark. Now Westwood. Westwood finds Hill on his inside.
Again, turning up, isn't he? Consistent performer. Made his debut as a 17-year-old for Leeds Centurions before making the move to Warrington.
Kevin Brown helps it wide to Ben Curry. They'll be delighted to see Ben Curry back in the side Warrington, particularly with Ben Murdoch-Masilla out for 3 to 4 weeks. Brown, high kick. Louis is underneath this one. It's his job. Louis claims it. The big problem for Salford is by putting him back there, do they lose anything in attack? They will hope not, with the fact that Little John and Shorrocks are there when they get their hands on the ball.
Well, Shorrocks and Little John need to control the team, and then at the back, what Robert Louis needs to do is link up in the line, whether it's shifted to the left or right. He's got that open game that he can go either side, and again, look at this man, Junior. So I think he's been performing brilliantly this year. The amount of times he wins penalties for his sides, because he's so urgent to get to his feet.
And he has scored, Junior Sow, in the last 5 meetings against Warrington, so the Wolves will be wary of him. Little John with a high kick. Ratchford underneath it, and Chris Wellham and Craig Kopchak following up.
Chris Wellham, knowing the dangers of Stefan Ratchford, the elusive fullback that he is, when he gets that ball, he's in attack mode straight away. It's a problem for Salford. 2 men on the floor. They've lost that ruck, and all of a sudden you go at the same attacking point. Don't go away from that when there's men struggling. Again, look, spotted it, Darryl Clark. Same men he's going at.
Yeah, Kopchak and Flanagan, both middlemen, so the spaces and gaps will be around that play the ball.
Here's Kevin Brown, finds Roberts. Roberts then gets it away to Toby King once more, the try scorer. And it's his 4 points that separate the two sides at the moment, just over 8 minutes gone. He eventually disentangles himself from the tacklers, and Brown will hoist another high kick right down the middle. Another test for Louis, because Roberts is right on him here. Oh, and Roberts has pinched it from him as well. And then, well, there would have been 6 to go there, surely. But here goes Chris Wellham for Salford. A wild pass on the inside here from Tyrone, not from Tyrone Roberts.
Ben Westwood. Ben Westwood's confusing ambition and ability there, I think, Eddie.
It would have been 6 to go, wouldn't it, Stuart?
It was called. It was 6 to go. But the pass was actually called forward. So we got a 0 set here for Salford.
And Jake Shorrocks has his hands on the ball. First Super League appearance for Shorrocks in 14 months. Lee Mossop now for Salford. Keeping those legs going. Look, he's just walking the defenders back to their own 20-metre line. That's good work from him. This is Junior Sau. Tried to spin out of trouble, but Clark was at him downstairs and Roberts upstairs. Shorrocks again into Louis. He's chimed into the line here. Flanagan gets it away. Haraki goes wide. The ball is spilled and it's pick up for Lynham, and Lynham has support with him. Here goes Ben Curry. Ben Curry down the line. And in the end, Flanagan sees to it with a little bit of help from some other defenders to bring him down.
And it was Craig Kopchak who got back. Tremendous job to get that tackle.
Charlie wants the ball played wide. He's got it. Tried to go inside Alferts. He held on to it. King at dummy half. This now is Hughes and Roberts and Brown. Brown shows and goes wide off the fingertips of Goodwin. That's, I was going to say a knock on, but Gareth Hughes said the ball went backwards. And he views a fumble a little bit differently to some of the other referees that we've seen operating in Super League this season already. Any fumble usually is penalised with a knock-on decision, but Warrington won't be complaining. Here is Roberts, gets it away to Brown. Sau got to him very quickly. Jake Shorrocks finished him off. Now it's Westwood. Westwood goes down 3 metres away from the Salford line. Clark's weighing up the options both ways. Comes down the right. Brown. King. Did that come off the hands of Alferts? Yes, it did.
Ball's being played up.
Knock on.
Warrington head and feed.
Now, from one end of the field, Salford all of a sudden think that they've got Warrington stripped. Maybe can't bring that ball in. And then the effort here from Craig Kopchak to get across and make that initial contact with Ben Curry really does save the day. And then as they try to shift the ball over on the right-hand side, Alferts just sticks his left arm out. Another set of 6 here for Warrington. Saved the try, but there's more pressure here for Salford.
And there's more trouble for Salford because Junior Sau is receiving treatment. We don't want to lose him. The former New Zealand international, 2009-2010, on the verge of his 50th try for Salford. Next one, he'll reach that milestone.
Toby, head in.
But 10 metres out, Warrington have head and feed. Chance here then for them to add to their score. It's with Brown. Westwood. Straight into the chest of Wella Huraki.
Hold, Craig. Hold.
Little John just delaying getting him off him for a second or two.
Okay.
Ratchford goes wide to Charnley. It's a stroll in for Josh Charnley. He knows every blade of grass on this ground as Josh Charnley. And he is on his way to 150 tries in Super League now. He only needs one more, and he will make that. 146 of them for Wigan, of course.
Well, I said Eddie, to be under pressure there. Another set of 6 for Salford. They have so many options. Darryl Clark again, he fixes some defenders. Junior Sau comes in, and Alferts comes in on King, and the space out wide for Charnley. As soon as your centre makes that decision to jam in, your winger's got to go as well. He does that, he can't cut the play down, but it's the vision from Warrington that gets them this try.
His third appearance for Warrington back in Super League, and it's now 3 tries for Josh Charnley. He got a hat-trick here in a Wigan win in 2016, 23-20. And he needs 1 now for 150 in Super League. It's 149 tries alongside Josh Charnley's name.
Yeah.
Good signing by Warrington. Very good signing.
He certainly knows how to finish a try, doesn't he? But he also knows how to play the game. Holds his touchline. He knows he's got support inside as well. He's a good player along with this man, Stephen Ratchford. Classy fullback.
Second shot at goal from similar position. Missed with his first attempt. Has he learned the lesson? And the answer is no, he hasn't. Nearly off the post. 8-0 Warrington though.
Well, this is wonderful set-up play. Look at Stefan Ratchford. He's got all his options available to him. He's got a short pass. He's got an outward line, an inward line where he can run and take on the defender. But perfect execution, finds the space, and Josh Charnley just simply has to catch it and put it down.
As that ball was played, Eddie, Robert Louis was on the opposite side of the ruck. I've been questioning why he was there. He was on the right-hand side of the ruck, and Warrington went to Salford's left-hand side. Louis was a late adjuster back to the other side. Wouldn't have been able to control and marshal his troops on that left side, and that may be something that Warrington can exploit, because that was far too easy, the way they stripped the home side short of numbers.
Mike Cooper on his 170th Warrington appearance in 2 spells. Smuggles the ball back. Here now is Jack Hughes in the England Knights squad again this year, the 25 men who will prepare for the return of the England Knights at international level. Westwood will play the ball here to Clark. Brown to the outside of the boot, looking for touch down that far side, and manages that. Does Kevin Brown, announcing his international retirement just recently. Kevin Brown, but that's a great kick from him.
Kick on the third tackle, Eddie. Recognises that his team were on the front foot. They're in front on the scoreboard, commanding this game with just 14 minutes gone. Salford made a couple of mistakes when Warrington are near their own try line. They look a little bit shaky to me, Salford. Not quite got into this game yet.
Not a bad place for Kevin Brown to call time on his international career, is it? With his last appearance being in a World Cup final.
Head right in, Chris.
Couldn't get any better, could it really?
They were very well. It could have been if they'd have won it.
No, I mean, but finishing on that, in that game already. That's what I mean. Finishing in that game.
No, finishing a World Cup final. Yeah.
So he's played it. He can't help the result.
No.
Did he retire after they named the squad? Which was a strange decision.
Yes, he was named in the squad and then said he's not going to bother. Well, what age is he now, Kevin Brown? He only looks like a choir boy still, but he's 33. So probably elongating his club career with that decision. He looks fresh-faced, doesn't he? And he will be featuring in our Super League Masterclass series with Jamie Jones-Buchanan later on in the year, so keep an eye and an ear out for that. First one is, it's this Thursday, the first one. Kevin Brown's not in that, by the way, just to confuse you. Neither's Little John, but it's a Rugby League Masterclass.
I've watched the first one of those. Angela Powers has put it together with Jamie Jones-Buchanan and a number of Super League stars, and it's fascinating.
So you got an exclusive there, did you? You saw the first Masterclass before it's gone out?
Well, Eddie, I work more than 2 days a week, unlike others. I have other responsibilities.
Heads in.
You've no answer for that, have you?
Junior, get down with it.
I don't need to answer things
Go
like
in.
that, Barry.
Hold the line. Out.
Here's Josh Charnley
First move,
again.
Craig. Hold. Go.
Gets to his feet, plays the ball to Darryl Clark, and it is now Lynham.
Back. Go.
Clark, Curry.
Good carry. Good meters. It's all it takes, one quick play of the ball to get those meters. Easy carry from Curry.
Westwood gets Warrington over the halfway line again. Good progress made once more. Clark clapping his hands, wants to get on with this. Goes down the left-hand side to Brown again. Ball back on the inside from Curry to Ratchford. Wellham is trying to do his best to bring Ratchford down. Eventually he succeeds. This is the last one coming up for Warrington then. It's with Kevin Brown. Long crossfield ball. Underneath it, Junior Sow. Just about. Bryson Goodwin was there as well. No, it wasn't. It's Toby Clark. Toby King, I beg your pardon.
Well, doesn't he do well there, Junior Sow? When this ball goes up, the kick's perfect from Kevin Brown. You can see him backing up, knowing that Toby King's the man who's that ball's aimed at.
At the back end of the set, they do well, Salford. But for me, again, The line speed isn't aggressive enough.
Back, Kevin, hold.
The line
Wait.
isn't as intact as it should be so early in the game, and there's a few players just looking a little bit sorry for themselves. That man certainly isn't. Mark Flanagan.
Red Jack.
He had
Go.
a rest on Monday, comes in, he should be fresh.
Move, Darryl.
Well, there's a host of programmes coming up for you on Thursday to start off with. It's the Super League Golden Point. That's just before the match kicks off on Thursday night. The guests are Jamie Jones Buchanan and Jodie Cunningham. And we'll be talking about this, the Rugby League Masterclass on Thursday night at 10 on Sky Sports Arena, and the launch of the Women's Super League on Sky Sports Arena as well. The preview of the 2018 Women's Super League season.
How Golden Point hasn't won a BAFTA, I'll never know.
A dafter.
Well, it's only been going 2 weeks.
Still, Eddie.
Back, Mark, hold.
I think the nominations for 2018 were in. I'll make sure I fill the form in for you for 2019. That's if it's still here by 2019.
Where's the get out of jail penalty here? Jack Littlejohn was taken out by Ben Westwood. When Salford last had the ball, he gets involved in this play. Josh Wood just upends Tom Lynham, the powerful winger. He gives that penalty away, and I said before the game that they can't give the penalties away.
Josh, back.
Can't give field position away and just give piggybacks to this talented Warrington side down the other end.
It's ruck speed from Warrington. Very basic, very simple. For many, many years they've relied on good ruck speed to make the most of their assets in terms of their players.
Oh, here goes Raxford. He's almost through.
How many times have we seen that work?
Back, Mark. Go.
Darryl Clark misses out Hill and finds Brown. This is Joe Philbin, who has come off the bench.
Hold, wait. Wait, Jack. Go.
Clark in, dummy half again. Down the right-hand side with Hughes. Back it comes to Roberts. Just missed out Roberts, actually. Maybe he tried to get that ball away quickly.
Well, they like attacking down this right-hand side where Josh Charnley is, don't they? Every time they seem to get down into this field position, they throw the numbers, they throw the shape at Salford. And Josh Charnley certainly does seem a go-to man on those shift plays.
Good read by Daryl Alfords as well, Terry, to come in. He's come in, he's made it difficult for Tyrone Roberts, and I think he's forced a poor pass. I think the wingman's done his job properly there. As you said, they're getting a lot of traffic down that way. Sow content to jam in. Daryl Alfords that time, he made the correct decision.
Let's go.
Daryl Alfords, formerly with Newcastle Thunder. He made his Super League debut against Widnes last month. He was a bit unlucky to have a try disallowed by the video referee, but turned down it was. This is Chris Wellham.
Okay.
Gets the ball away again. And Lee Mossop will trundle it down the middle, but Warrington's defence standing firm. Josh Wood. Robert Louis now.
Third, move. Hold, wait. Go.
Going over to the right-hand side, Eddie. They're losing the battle of the play the ball speed here. Very difficult for the next man who's carrying the ball.
And that next man is Ben Nakambawe, who has just come onto the field, the Fijian international. Here's Louis. Off the outside of the right boot. Goes high, goes really high. Junior Sowers after this, but Charnley collects it and drops it backwards. Got away with it.
They got nudged a bit, Josh Charnley. He got nudged off the ball, but then they're losing the ball. It goes backwards. He's there to pick it up. Again, slow Warrington down here near their own try line. It seems nice and quick. Again, look at the speed at which King's getting up to play that ball.
3 changes made by Ian Watson to try and get his team back level pegging on the score sheet. They're trailing 8-0.
Lamatasi is one of those changes as well. He'll try and influence that ruck speed, that dominance that Warrington have got. How many times they play the ball quicker than Salford can get markers set, goal defence set, and offloads, really causing them trouble.
Well, here comes Charnley again. Goes inside 2. Alford's stuck to his guns. Brings him down eventually on tackle number 5. Wants to get out of the way there. Did Ryan Lannon. Just about managed that in time. High kick out here. Palm back to Tyrone Roberts. Well, this is going to be a bizarre try. Absolutely bizarre try for Warrington. The ball hung in the air forever, it seemed. And then Salford allowed the ball to bounce, and it was palmed back to Tyrone Roberts, who scores his first try for the Warrington Wolves. And they are in control of this match, leading 12-0.
They certainly are, Eddie. And again, it's down this right-hand side. They're getting a lot of joy, whether they're running the ball or kicking the ball. This ball goes high in the air from Tyrone Roberts, and you can see Robert Louis going back. Alford's looking over his shoulder. King doesn't play for it, Alford's doesn't, and because Robert Louis goes in to try and catch that ball, knowing that it was loose, the ball's tapped back, and as soon as it's tapped back, there's a lot of space in front, because Robert Louis commits, tries to get the ball, can't come up with it, and the space is there. Easy try from Roberts.
Just looking at that is a dreadful try for Salford to concede.
They'll be really disappointed with that. Most coaches will say to the backfield, the back players, you attempt to catch that ball. I don't care if you miss it, if you drop it, if there's a mistake, but just have a go. Ian Watson, I'm sure, will have a word with that back three and say, we can't allow that ball to bounce. You bet your bottom dollar, Steve Price has said, look, when we get near, we'll put it high, we'll put it hanging, and whether it's Louis, Orfords or Bibby, we'll make it a difficult assignment for them.
Well, he's not happy with that, I'm sure, Ian Watson, but Roberts is major signing of the winter for Warrington, and he has, I must say, looked the part in the 4-match winning run that they're currently on, and at the moment it looks like they're going to make it 5. Now Ratchford with his third conversion attempt, and gradually these attempts have gone closer and closer to the post. They've just nudged in a couple of metres from this right-hand side, and this time, third time lucky for Stephen Ratchford, and Warrington now lead by 14 points to 0.
Well, Daryl Alford's defending on a short side, so you're going to be pushed up a little higher than the winger on the opposite side of the field. What Tyrone Roberts did is he kicked a bomb back to the short side, which is an unusual kick to try and attempt. The winger gets caught underneath it. He's got no clean run at it, so it's got to be Robert Louis' ball more than Daryl Alford's. He's going to naturally be stuck underneath it. Louis' got to come and take that ball, dominate it.
I think it was difficult for Louis to get there, but that was a brilliant kick. Let's not get away from the brilliant kick there. It lands just behind Alford, so for him to take that ball, he's got to be confident he can get it.
Well, let's not forget Robert Louis has never started, we don't think anyway, we don't think he's ever started at full-back before. And when you think of the problems that Castleford have had in finding a number one this year.
Eddie, I'd probably credit the kick more than Robert Louis being out of position there. It was more or less impossible for Alford to catch that ball.
But then Louis came across to try and take control of the situation and left a massive gap. Anyway, 14-0, Warrington are ahead. Bryson Goodwin to the latest try scorer. Into centre field it goes to Clark. This is Philbin. And now it's with Toby King again.
Well, Salford need a couple of good sets here, or this game's going to go away from them. Already behind, they've conceded 3 tries. Yeah, there's only been 1 conversion. Again, short side, Eddie.
He's in touch this time, Josh Charnley.
Well, that's how much they do fancy it, whether it's because Josh Charnley is the go-to man or the inexperience of Alford's on the wing here for Salford, but it comes up with a good play here, takes him out of the field of play, and it's head and feet to Salford.
Let's give him a bit of credit there. He kept his nerve.
Number 20.
It's difficult when you've made a mistake, whether it's your responsibility or not, you've been part and parcel of it. It's difficult to put that to one side and get on with your job, and Alford's has kept his position, and
Let's go. Let's get
I think he's going to have a tough afternoon facing Josh Charnley. They look like they're targeting that side. They'll have recognised during the week that Salford defend up and in, and as long as Josh Charnley hooks that touchline, he's going to get some space.
They beat Warrington home and away last season, Salford's Red Devils. They won 24-14 here and then 38-12 at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and this will help them, this penalty.
It seems any penalties will help the Salford side, and struggling for yardies last week when they played in those conditions.
First Salford penalty of the afternoon.
Yeah, they struggled last week, Eddie, to gain metres. The most metres a Salford player made was just 83 carrying the ball forward. When you look at the likes of Chris Hill, who made 172 metres in 17 carries, that's the difference that you need to get to.
So Ryan Lannon here for Salford, who play the ball to Mark Flanagan. It's Nakambawa who got the ball away.
Move, Chris! Hold. Go. Hold. Go.
And Huraki will play it.
4. Move. Darrell, hold. Wait.
Mark Flanagan, as Lamatazi plays the ball to him. Oh, that's a nice ball. Robert Louis gets over, and that's what Salford needed desperately. They needed that response from Robert Louis absolutely desperately, because the game was in danger of running away from them. And it just shows you what they can do when they get close to the Warrington line. They have been there a couple of times in this first half. They spurned the chances. They don't do it this time.
Well, that's the Robert Louis that Salford need this afternoon. The penalty was given. Look at the setup. Nice short pass. And Wella Huraki, who has many skills, many strings to his bow. Wella Huraki, running hard and strong is one of them. But that's a deft little pass inside. Robert Louis, one-on-one, will always win.
He does enough, doesn't he? Wella Huraki, look at that. He attracts Kevin Brown. As soon as Kevin Brown turns in and faces Wella Huraki, you got Robert Louis, who will give this Salford side a spark. Whenever he gets his hands on the ball, he's an absolute Class 1 runner of the ball. And he can cause any opposition problems.
And it just goes to prove where Salford need to play this game. We've remarked a few times about how they're struggling with the speed of the play of the ball. Warrington consistently getting through contact, quick play of the balls, putting pressure on the Red Devils near their line. And they need to play some position rugby league this afternoon.
Robert Louis then, with 14 goals to his name so far. He kicked a career best 6 goals in the game against Catalan Dragons here on Good Friday. He was their standout figure for Salford in 2017, attracting interest on a number of occasions from Hull Kingston Rovers, but they have resisted the temptation, and Louis has added the extras. And so they're back to within 8 points. Salford 6, Warrington 14, 28 minutes gone.
Nice little bit of invention by Salford on their right edge. Wella Huraki, as Barry pointed out, turning it back inside to Louis. But in front of him was an international defender in Ben Curry. I think Ben Curry will reflect on his efforts defensively there and hope he doesn't repeat them in this game. Far better defender than he showed that time. Louis, strong runner, but Curry, as I say, an international standard player, would expect better of himself.
On the run.
Well, from a neutral point of view, exactly what the game needed, that, the Salford try. And Ratchford restarts with the kick-off. Chris Wellham is underneath it.
Did anything to give you a bit of confidence, won't you, when you're up against this Warrington side. And look how big they are up front. Darrell Clark leading the charge, along with Cooper, Hughes and Crosby. Mark Flanagan's gone into 9 now. Josh Wood's taking a breather for Salford.
This is Josh Jones.
Darrell, hold.
10th appearance in a row in the second row for the former St Helens man. Ryan Lannon now made his first appearance of the season on Monday against Leeds. Solid run, it's a tremendous run from Lamatazi. Has he got the pace? Has he got the strength to beat Ratchford? No, he might have passed to his inside, but instead took the tackle. Louis stabs the ball in behind, looking for Junior South. Charlie to the rescue. And Charlie, well, he flings that ball away a little bit desperately. And I tell you what, wasn't expecting that, Mike Cooper.
What a piece of play from Salford. Mark Flanagan, who is playing at 9, is playing in the hooking role in front of his dad, Terry Flanagan, the former Oldham and Great Britain hooker. Picks up, finds and threads the front rower through the space. Lamatazi, he was never going to pass when he makes that break. Nothing came off the back of it for Salford though.
This is Dom Crosby for Warrington. They certainly have livened up Salford since they've scored that try from Robert Louis. It's refreshed them. This is Bryson Goodwin. 5 tackles gone. Warrington still inside their own half as Clark gives the ball to Roberts and he goes straight down the middle.
He's just looking for distance there, isn't he? Alford's here with a strong carry to bring the ball back. Well, Salford will be trying to get another break like that from Lamatazi. And I agree with Barry. Mark Flanagan, the work that he did. I think Mark Flanagan's one of the best pros knocking around Super League.
He's the perfect player to have in those leadership roles. He's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, he's not the most skillful, but what he is, he's absolutely 10 out of 10 with his dedication.
Back in the side today after missing out the defeat on Easter Monday against Leeds. There he is once more at dummy half. That must have taught him all he knows.
Wouldn't have taken him very long.
Josh Jones.
I'm only kidding, Terry.
Shorrocks now with a high kick to the right-hand side. Well claimed, palm back, good hands, Littlejohn, it went backwards. Play on. Lannon using a little bit of deft footwork, and he forces Ratchford in goal. It's a good period of the game for the Salford Red Devils, this.
Well, they say they practices this, Ryan Lannon. Look at that. Just effort. Look at this break. Sets the platform from Tazi. He's looking around him. He knows that there's nobody there with him, so next thing he's just got to pick out Stefan Ratchford, take the tackle. No panic there from Salford. He's never going to pass Stefan Ratchford. Hoping that he passes the ball.
Goal line drop out then for Warrington. Kevin Brown scuffs it a bit, but he might get away with it. No, he doesn't. Wellham got to it, and he is the man that gets away with it. They're back on the front foot. They're 22 metres away from the line. Here he goes again, the big Fijian, Ben Nakambarwai. Flanagan goes right with Littlejohn. He then pops the ball up to Haraki. Robert Louis gives it to Lannon once again. Ryan Lannon almost got round Crosby. Half a metre away from the line. Flanagan going himself. Beaten by Ratchford and the post padding. And Dom Crosby. It's with Louis. Almost through. Couldn't get the pass away. Josh Jones. Louis again. Hoist the kick. Down the right-hand side. Palm back. Good play. Littlejohn keeps it alive. They've lost a little bit of momentum there, though. Lynham doing a very good job. It was on the last and they lost, what, 15, 20 metres, Salford?
Just great defence, wasn't it? Playing what's in front of him, looking up to wrap up the man who's carrying the ball. It's exactly what Warrington needed, that. Salford just seeming to have a good 10-minute spell here.
And Salford need to defend this set of six well. No penalties, stay clean and get into the grind with the Wolves.
Well, Warrington were beaten at home by Leeds and St Helens, but 3 wins from 5 away from home. And still on course here for another victory away from home. They were hovering just above the bottom 4 when they lost 12 points to 30 at home to St Helens, but they're now 3rd in the table. Admittedly, they've played a few games or a couple of games more than those around them. Here is Charnley, forward pass.
Well, the dominant half, which is Kevin Brown, whichever side he seems to stand, that's the side where the ball's going. The ball's passed here.
What did they want Charnley to do?
From King, yeah. Just shifting the ball for shifting its sake there.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, even if Stefan hadn't passed it forward, what he wanted Josh Charnley to do. Or sorry, Toby King.
On the 20. Get back.
3 defenders in front of him. The point I was making about Salford, it's easy, as a rugby league team, it's easy to show energy and enthusiasm when you've got the ball, especially near your opponent's line, but you need to pay attention to the defensive efforts. That's when you need to step up.
Ryan Atkins comes into the fray off the bench.
Out.
And we have more from the NRL coming for you next week. The Roosters against the Rabbitohs Thursday at 10 minutes to 11. And North Queensland against Canterbury on Saturday, 8:30 in the morning. And following that, at 10:30, Canberra against Parramatta. 3 matches for you from Australia's NRL. The NRL back on Sky Sports in 2018. Just you're enjoying it. Lamatazi.
4, move, wait, Kevin, go. 4.
Mark Flanagan gets the ball away to Littlejohn. Littlejohn
Outside.
places that kick perfectly into the corner.
Okay, well.
And Ratchford has to run it back. Decent chase.
Good. Well, off the back of some direct carries as well, Eddie.
Move, hold.
Just staying in those tram lines, the forwards. Little John realising.
Oh, but they've strayed offside at the play the ball, and the pressure is lifted off Warrington.
Details for Salford. Little John realising that on the fourth play there's no one at the back. Is it a quick tap here, Eddie?
Kevin Brown's away. Eventually gets clattered from behind. Might have been a penalty, not forthcoming. Roberts. Charlie wanted the ball kicked towards the corner from Tyrone Roberts then. Instead, he elected to go and give the ball to Jack Hughes. Clark goes left now to Brown. Brown tried to fool Wella Haraki, but he's a bit wiser than that, is Wella Haraki. Roberts and Aquala.
Move back! Back to 10, Josh. Hold. Wait. Go.
12 metres out. Roberts again stabs the kick in. This time Charlie wasn't waiting for it, but Daryl Alfords was taking no chances. Warrington get the goal line dropout.
Well, I think Robert Louis just saying to him, you could have let that ball go then. You can see that Josh Charlie's around. Look, quick thinking here from Kevin Brown. You can't do that. When you play against the Warrington side, they are a dangerous side. You've got to make sure that you're alert to what they're doing. And that man's quick reaction, knowing that Salford aren't set, they're just strolling back, takes advantage of that play.
And pacing himself, Terry, not running too fast so his support players can come up alongside him.
It's a team play, you know that, Brian.
But Ian Watson will, I think, pick out that, clip it for the training next week and say, look, you can't turn your back like that.
Well, that's just down to urgency, Eddie. That is nothing else but urgency. You get a penalty away, you've got to make sure that you front up and you're aware of what people are doing.
Robert Louis with a goal line dropout to halfway, and Stephen Ratchford. It will be taken back with venom by Philbin.
First, move! Hold Josh,
Always carries the ball with real intent, doesn't he?
Here comes Dom Crosby. Warrington looking for an increase in their 8-point lead up to half-time. This is Kevin Brown again. Stabs the kick into open space. Could be on here. No. A good job. But they got some defenders back in the shape of Jake Bibby.
Got a great short kicking game, Kevin Brown. He realises that all the defenders are up, trying to affect the tackle. It's early enough for Salford not to think about the kick.
Goal line dropout then for Salford to defend as Warrington try and turn the screw up towards half-time. Just over 3 minutes away from the break. Louis this time, not such length on it. Ben Curry to run it back for the Wolves. Gets to the 20-metre line on the first tackle. Goodwin to Crosby. Sixth time he's been on the bench in 2018, Dom Crosby. Roberts back on the inside again to Aquala.
He's lost the ball.
Knock on. Salford celebrate.
Robert Louis comes over the top. Big ball for Aquala. He breaks free of Wellham, but then all of a sudden Robert Louis comes over the top, loses possession. And that's what they need to do. Salford pressure the ball plays, pressure the man who's carrying the ball. Steve Price will be a bit disappointed just leading up to half-time now in good field position that they make a mistake like that. And Ian Watson, well, he'll be happy. He looks at the scoreboard. It has been about Salford, especially in the opening 25 minutes, but they're just 8 points behind.
Let's get forward. Come on, heads right. Get bound. Hold that line.
Salford with head and feed then. Big push at the scrum by Warrington. Knock on. I think they've got a knock on off Salford here. They have. This is going to go their way.
Well, you don't see many teams these days in Super League attack through the scrum. The push there, the little bobble from Mark Flanagan at the back. He thought he was going to have more protection from his front five. Just loses the ball. Man who we give big raps to before, and Ian Watson now knows that his side are under pressure now for the last, minute and a half before half-time.
Could be a big push and a big moment in the game. That Charlie is wide open on this right-hand side.
Oh, there was problems then if they give that ball to Charlie. Alfords was straight in with Junior South.
Here comes Akwala again. It's a difficult man to handle, the Fijian. This is Clark. Went behind Kevin Brown. Roberts tidies up though. Then gives it square to Ben Curry, who straightens it up immediately. All down by Little John. Bit of help from Haraki. Clark. Here's Philbin. Philbin halted 3-4 metres away from the line. Warrington anxious to get on with it inside the last minute of the first half. Roberts trying to fool Mark Flanagan. He wouldn't be fooled. Down he goes.
Standing up well here, Salford.
Last tackle this set for Warrington with Brown. Not the best kick, picked up by Robert Louis, and Salford survived.
Well, that set of 6 will change Ian Watson, change his mentality and his players. We're doing okay, he'll say. 25 minutes, it was all Warrington Wolves. And they've somehow scrambled away, get back into this game. Players hungry for work now and working for each other as a unit.
Move! Hold!
Well, Steve Price doesn't look terribly impressed. They had the better of it, certainly for 20-25 minutes, as the boys say. Missed a couple of conversions. There's the half-time siren. We won't have time for that play the ball. And he will deliver a team talk to his players. In fact, they both will. Ian Watson for Salford, Steve Price for Warrington.
Stay behind.
Warrington to kick off. They're attacking from right to left in this second period. Ratchford gets us going again. And it's Little John who is underneath it. And here is Nakambawa again.
Move then, hold. Wait.
Looking forward to seeing what Ian Watson said at half-time, Eddie. Sure he would have been in confident mood the final 15 minutes. I'm sure he'll talk about respecting the ball, the field position, make sure you get a good start and really put pressure on Warrington. The more that this game goes on and the more that you're sticking with them, the more that they might start to force that ball because they're looking for that perfect performance. But Ryan Lannon here,
it's come up with a knock-on. He's saying that this ball was stolen. That was his appeal to referee Gareth Hewer, but Mr. Hewer will have none of it.
no, he's dead set dropped it. You can see that, yeah, there is some bodies around him, but as he goes to try and plant that ball down on the ground, he loses possession. Not the start that Salford were after.
That's the second time in 2 matches, last night and tonight, you've used the phrase dead set.
Rob?
Is it?
Yeah. Head right in.
Counter,
Head in,
maybe.
Mark. Head in. Let's go. Out.
Here's Ryan Atkins for Warrington. And here comes Akwala again for Warrington.
Got his arm free though, looking for the offload then.
Down the right-hand side with Roberts. Atkins. Being kept out of the side at the moment by Toby King, but on as a substitute here. Joe Philbin.
Move. Hold on, wait. Go.
And Darryl Clark in at dummy half. Looks for the runner. It's that man Akwala again.
Hold the line, wait.
2 or 3 metres shy of the line. Hit the ball at pace. Good defence from Salford. Brown with the kick. Little John picks it up.
Not the kick he's looking for, Kevin Brown. Wasn't enough distance on that ball and easy for Little John to get that bouncing ball. All right, Ryan Atkins, Eddie, I think he's got a real point to prove in this game. He'll be frustrated that starting the game on the bench, the old campaigner, really has played well for Warrington over the years.
Alford's to his feet, will play the ball to Wellham. Here comes Lamatase, solid run into Joe Philbin's chest. Let's go down to the sideline, shall we? And pick up half-time news. Angela?
Ian Watson gave his team a bit of a blasting at half-time, Eddie. It was an embarrassing 20 minutes to start with, he says. They went away from everything they've been practising in the week and everything they talked about, but they did get a spark in that second half, or the second quarter, if you like, and they've managed to pick the game up. So for them, it's game on. Just put the first 20 minutes behind them and carry on as they did in the last part of that quarter. For Steve Price now, he says that dominant first quarter was good and he was pleased with that, but they played a little bit too laterally in attack. He needs to see them a bit more direct is what he wants. Tidy up some areas defence and step this game up again.
Thanks, Angela. Well, I tell you what, Ian Watson will be well pleased. His team are only 8 points adrift after that opening 20 minutes. And so long as they can put the the first half hour behind them.
They really
Salford
grew.
have every chance.
They grew into the half, didn't they? They gained confidence. Robert Louis, he's been asked to fulfil a very difficult role. I think it's the most difficult position on the field, fullback, because in attack and defence you've got a role to play and a function in everything that goes on.
Move, Jack.
Rare praise indeed from a former front rower there.
We used to play 20-minute spells.
This is Junior Sau. I'll give you a little insight as well, Brian. Last night they completely agreed with Tommy Makinson, the winger, being given the veteran man of the match award.
He was dead set.
But here we go. Are we all looking for a job in Australia at the moment, are we? Because it can be arranged.
Are you paying?
Those days are gone, Eddie, when they'd send these two down under.
I wouldn't say so.
Move.
This is Ryan Lannon.
Go.
Gone high in the air, this. Oh, he took it well, Lynham.
Well, there was a pressure kick, wasn't it, from Jake Shorrocks? Didn't go for distance, just pulled back that distance, trying to get some of his players there just to put pressure on Lynham, but he comes up with a great take.
Ben Curry for Warrington. He played in both over Easter, but he missed 4 in a row before that, Ben Curry.
A little bit in that tackle with Ben Curry and Wella Haraka as well.
Roberts gets it away to Brown. Brown then finds Ratchford, and Junior Sau finds Ratchford with the tackle. Clark down the short side with Roberts, who pumps the ball towards the line. Louis has lost it, it's gone backwards. There could be trouble here. Charnley thinks he might have scored. I wonder what Gareth Hewer's view of it is. No try.
Can we just check a knock on in the air, please, and the grounding?
A knock on in the air, Stuart, and the grounding.
Well, it certainly looked like there was some sort of fumble. Whether it went forward off a Warrington man or backwards or Salford, we should be able to find out. Now, checking for onside, I don't think you can rule Ryan Atkins in front on that. So we're okay to play on from here, and it hits Ryan Atkins onto Robert Louis. So there's the knock on. So I think the on-field decision of no try will stand. This should confirm it. Comes off Atkin and goes forward into Robert Louis' hand. As you see there, that just knocks his hand, and that's a dead set knock on.
It's ever so slightly different than the try that Tyrone Roberts scored, but you can see that Robert Louis has taken it upon himself to get involved, be in the general vicinity. The try is scratched off.
No, he's hand over on the 10.
But Robert Louis looks to have upped his game and commitment.
Great reaction, guys, as well from Mark Flanagan and Daryl Alfords to get in and underneath the player. If it had gone on, if there was no knock-on ruled, I would suggest that they may have held the player up, which was great play, great reaction from the two Salford defenders.
This is Josh Wood now.
2, move! Back Ben, hold! Go.
Here now goes Chris Wellham.
3rd, move! That's all here, Kevin, wait.
Chris Wellham is 30 metres from his own line. And Nakambawai again. He's played in the last 8. And he got a try in the home win against Hull. Tazi. He's given them a bit of a spark since he's come on.
He's played well again. Look at that fight there. Josh Wood straight on the back of that.
Here's Little John. Stabs the ball over the top. Ratchford will deal with the bouncing ball, but is surrounded by red jerseys.
And that's the very definition of a play the ball win. Lamatasi runs hard, finds his front, keeps his leg pumping, plays the ball before the markers are set. That's what Warrington were doing to Salford in the first 25 minutes.
And Bryson Goodwin fighting to get away from Flanagan. Ratchford to Charnley. That's solid defence. But it was a high shot.
It's the high shot.
Charnley caught one.
Well, he's a fearsome player, isn't he? Whether he's carrying the ball or defensively. But he goes high here. There's contact round the head. The referee, Gareth Hewer, says, yeah, that's a penalty. They're those little players that you give the meters to the opposition. When you're getting excited, you want to attack through your defence.
Yeah, Yes, it was an invitation to get into Salford territory, and that's where Warrington are. With Darrell Clark away from Haraki, away from Nakambawai.
Still at it, Ben Curry and Wella Haraki. Every time they meet, there's a little bit of verbals going on.
Hold, wait, back.
Kevin Brown is waiting 16 metres away. Here's Dom Crosby.
Move up, hold the line.
And Clark once again. Roberts. Philbin.
Move, wait.
Losing out to the big Fijian. Akwala now. Finds Roberts. He just gives it to Crosby. Good defence. Once again. Last tackle coming up for Warrington. Clark to Brown. Brown short ball to Curry. And Salford muscle up and keep Curry out.
Eddie, early on in that defensive set, Josh Jones comes up with a decent shot. He wins that tackle. Then the next play, it's Robert Louis. And they started to slow Warrington down. And then all of a sudden, Warrington couldn't get those quick play the balls at the back end of the set that they were looking for. Kevin Brown urging his troops to get up quickly and play the ball. Likewise, the number 9, Darrell Clark.
Luke Burgess on the field now, and he just played the ball then. Here is Junior Sow. Luke Burgess, ex of South, of course, in the NRL with Sam, George and Tom, way back in 2013, that was. Josh Wood now. It's a good run from Wood.
Going off the back of a decent play the ball, looking for the late retreaters in Warrington.
Little John drills the ball into the ground, and Ratchford, not interested.
He's used his subs well, Ian Watson. Whenever he's rotated a player or brought a player on from the bench, he's had an influence. You saw Josh Wood during that previous set of 6. He picks up, he goes, he challenges the defenders. Your hands are tied a little bit as a coach over Easter because Ian Watson's squad isn't the biggest. He's had to rotate players. He changed players like Flanagan and Kopchak and Mossop. Didn't necessarily rub away the Leeds fixture. He just chose the opportunity to rotate bigger players. He's brought them back in and he's getting some messages onto the field. He'll be relatively pleased with the opening 9 minutes of his team's effort.
In charge of Salford for the 88th time today, and he is hoping for win number 44. That would be a 50-50 win-loss ratio. Not bad.
You need a cutting edge in attack to win games. As well, you need to be really switched on defensively. Chris Hill now comes up with a powerful run. Got good footwork at the line. Chris Hill attracts 3 defenders, gets up quick, plays the ball. Then there's space between Tyrone Roberts and the defensive line.
He is at Ryan Atkins with a little bit of space, but it's quickly closed down. But he manages to get the ball away to Roberts. And Roberts just nonchalantly gives it to Chris Hill. And Hill, from a standing start, didn't make too much ground.
Well, that attack was quite static from Warrington then.
Now Brown will attack the line and find Ratchford. Ratchford's halted by Little John and Haraki. Bryson Goodwin at dummy half on tackle number 5. So this is the last one, and up it goes in the air again off Brown. Well held in the end.
Good take here from Alford. I want to give a lot of praise to Lamatasi again. He's targeting Kevin Brown. Whenever Kevin Brown's got the ball, he's working really hard on his inside pressure, forcing him to play the play and forcing him to kick that ball. He knows that he is a dangerous player, Kevin Brown, but Tazi's got him in his eyesight.
He just needs to make sure, Terry, that he's not giving the referee an opportunity to blow his whistle. That's the problem with Lamatasi, that he needs to take his tackling down a couple of inches, hit around the chest, and say, other than that, there's huge work rate from him, but just that aggression can boil over and cost his side.
He's been taken off the field by Ian Watson. Warrington will be well pleased that only one try conceded so far tonight, this afternoon rather. Charnley underneath that high kick. Remember, they became the first team to keep Catalan scoreless in Perpignan, 17th of March, 26 points to 0. Must have been a huge confidence booster for them.
Already, that's what Ryan Atkins gives you. A quick play of the ball. Stephen Ratchford knows what's going to come from his centre.
Back from 3 out against Castleford on Monday, Ryan Atkins.
And it won't do Ryan Atkins' game any harm to have some competition. For a long time, he's been so established over on that edge for Warrington.
That was a little bit over fancy, and this is a great run. A wonderful run from Jake Bibby. A little bit fancy by Warrington there. They conceded the possession, and look where Salford are now. With Shorrocks and Sow, but Atkins big on defence there.
Eddie, they've gone away from where they split them. They needed to keep attacking where they made the break initially.
Josh Jones goes up the middle. That's to within 11 of the Warrington line. Only the second tackle that, so plenty in the bank here. As Shorrocks finds Louis, and Brown shot out of the line. And eventually brings Robert Louis to ground. Louis didn't like it.
And there was an elbow in there from Kevin Brown. Then it was a good read from Kevin Brown on Robert Louis.
Luke Burgess. Solid from Cooper.
Contact's ramped up just a little bit, hasn't it?
This is Little John. Haraki, Louis looking for Bill. He has lost it, Jake Bibby. And the try goes begging for Salford.
It was just too low. Looked like a glorious option. Threaded the needle, and it just bobbled at the last second. And Tony Martin, the linesman on that side, was right on the spot. And do you know what, Eddie? Many people think that Kevin Sinfield holds the record for Super League with 454 appearances in Super League. Well, let me tell you, Tony Martin was there from the beginning. We make it. He's been involved in over 700 matches, and he's never missed a beat.
Thanks for that, Murray.
Good enough. I must have done 700 matches then, if that's the case.
We are, mate. Come on.
Not down there waving a flag, running around.
Up here waving a white flag at times.
He does it.
We are, Luke.
Do you know, I don't think Daryl Alford's even got a hand to that. I don't think there was even a knock on. And Bryson Goodwin reacted quickest, but a great chance. It was Alford's break.
There he is, TV Tony. Well done, pal. And he does what he does on a Super League, and he's still there on the Sunday morning games, refereeing the kids' games. Well done, pal.
Sorry, I was talking about Jake Bibby, not Daryl Alford.
Here is Mike Cooper.
Move, Josh.
Mike Cooper will get to his feet 30 metres out. And Clark. And that is a good run from Clark, and Josh Jones couldn't get a hand on him at all.
Constant threat, isn't he, Darryl Clark?
Jones was in an offside position. This is Cooper now. Flat pass to Hill. Three of them close in on the Warrington captain. Bang underneath the Salford post. 10 metres out. Clark waving people away down the right-hand side. Comes left to Brown. Brown stabs it in. And Curry thought that the try was coming his way.
There's a knock-on from Salford, Eddie.
I think it's a knock-on from Warrington.
From Warrington, sorry.
Ball's been lost.
I think he's trying to knock as well, Ben Curry.
When this ball's kicked there, Ben Curry knocks the ball forward. Robert Louis comes to rescue, and they play the ball on the 10.
Here's Luke Burgess again for Salford.
That's good defence.
Grand final winner, Luke Burgess, in 2009 with the Leeds Rhinos. They're all Alfords. Trying to take a bit of the weight off his defenders. Now, Sow.
Runs well above his weight, doesn't he, Junior Sow? They've just got to be patient here, Salford. Still going to get some chances in this game. Playing off powerful charges. Nakabawai now taking on Chris Hill.
Well, they had a real chance in that corner, didn't they?
Yeah.
Lee Moss up here now. Relative, just shy of halfway. They've reached tackle number 5. Going for territory over the head of Lynham, and this will stay in the in-goal area. That's a great kick.
They're just looking to earn the right to play, Eddie, for this.
Ratchford just loses his footing in the mud.
Now, a couple of players from Salford are getting excited with defence. Well, this set of 6, they can't give a penalty away. And I'd give this second half to Salford.
This is Bryson Goodwin. Lee Mossop gets to him. Has hold of the jersey, held out by Luke Burgess as well. Charnley. Will Josh have a run? Tried to. Good defence so far from Salford. Clark running straight. trying to catch the Salford defender in an offside position.
Wait.
Need pressure here on the kicker.
We've gone half an hour without a score either side. Defence is on top. Charnley, Atkins rather. Not a bad kick. Oh, shouldn't let it bounce. Offside though.
Offside, yeah. Then there's a lot of time for Warrington. When Kevin Brown gets that ball, he kicks it. There's too much time. Ryan Atkins kicks the ball. There's players in front. The referee Gareth Ewer spots it.
Offside.
Salford can make a statement here, and they can set Warrington's season back. If they can kick on now in the next few minutes, you're right, Terry, you give the first 17 minutes or so in its entirety to the Salford Red Devils. I'll tell you what, they're going to need a score soon. Because if it is the Wolves that go on to win this game, they're making heavy weather of it, and there's a brilliant opportunity for Ian Watson and his side here now to cause an upset.
Well, they're in possession once again.
Okay.
Good offload. Here goes Haraki. Brushes away from Bryson Goodwin. Can't get away from Mike Cooper.
Release.
Jack Hughes lending his weight as well.
Let's go first.
Kopchak to Shorrocks. Shorrocks then to Jones. Jones finds Junior Sow.
Two. Move. Hold. Wait.
Catches one for Ben Westwood there, I think. Ben Westwood going in to effect the tackle. Junior Sow on his way down. He bumps off Darryl Clark on his way down. I'm not sure Ben Westwood can do much about that. There's a contact with the eye.
Again, we've seen these time after time. When there is contact, and yeah, there is, but the player's falling down.
Well, it will be a penalty. He's had that information from the video referee.
Well, the 36-year-old Ben Westwood.
You can't call it a high shot, can you? Because it's round his knees. It's a contact with the head. And Stuart, the emphasis, the onus on the players is to just take a bit of extra care when they're coming in with an arm swinging like that.
Yeah, Ben, you look at that, and Ben Westwood is looking away when he's going into the tackle. Yeah, he's contact with the head. The law is actually making contact with the head while attempting to tackle.
Just checking Junior Sow out and allowing him a few seconds.
I know he's had his run-ins, Ben Westwood, with the disciplinary panel, but again, look at that play. Junior Sow falling to the ground.
With the head. Careful about the tackle.
No other action, just a penalty. Well, there's no point in them looking for two.
I've got to keep on going here.
Time up.
Lee Mossop.
Well, Mossop ran to take the pass and then stopped, and he got the pass.
Well, I think Josh Wood was seeing what was going to be on, talking to players around him.
Well, here he is again, Josh Wood. Now Kopchak will take it forward. The referee has got Warrington for offside on their own line. Keep it going, says Ian Watson.
They're rocking here, Warrington. He can feel that. The players can feel that. I agree with Brian. They need to get something from this very good period.
It's Kopchak. Looking to outmuscle three of them. Warrington keep him out. Wood, Littlejohn and Haraki. Then Robert Louis. All hands to the pump now defensively for Warrington. Josh Wood comes to the right-hand side. Haraki. Haraki's opened up. And I tell you what, Warrington are appealing. This is going to be chalked off for an obstruction. It'll be very interesting to see what the decision on the field is. Well, Gareth Ewer has sent it up as a no try.
Chris Wellham will be the man, Stuart.
But didn't Chris Wellham keep the run going? He almost ended up in the front row of the stands.
Yeah, well, they got through the line. I think that's the first thing. But it's whether Haraki then runs behind his own man. There's a confusion there. We're all right at that point, but he's run behind his own man, and he's affected the man in front. Not necessarily Kevin Brown. You know, if Wellham goes through the line and keeps going, he's fine, as long as the other player doesn't go around the back of him. And this is why this one will be chalked off.
The numbers were all stacked over on Salford's left anyway. The overcall came from Haraki. You saw Josh Wood turn round and nod. to one of the members of that leadership group that Salford are relying on so heavily.
I thought, Stuart, if you kept running through the line, you were okay.
That's all right, as long as it doesn't obstruct a defender who's coming across. In this case, it's like an old-fashioned shepherd, where he's run around the back of his own man as he's gone through.
There's a poor read there as well, though, from Goodwin.
There is a poor read, but he's still gone behind the back of his man. You know, you get the read on the defender if there's a block in the line, but as soon as the ball carrier runs behind him, that becomes a different aspect.
Big day in Manchester on Sky Sports. Don't forget, Man City, Man United, the Barclays Premier League Championship is up for grabs. It's a 5:30 kickoff, so stay with us.
Go, 3.
Then you've got Catalan Wigan to follow. We've also got, you can dip in and out of the big Manchester derby as well while you're watching that.
We've got to give a
They
mention.
could lift the title.
We've got to give a mention to Al, don't we? Our studio designer, big Manchester United fan.
I think he's a little Man United fan.
5, move, Lee! Hold!
He's a big Man City fan. I had a little bit of fun with him yesterday after Wednesday night. Stefan Ratchford, good kick, taken by Bryson Goodwin in mid-air.
Hand over.
And luckily from Ryan Atkins in mid-air, I beg your pardon, and luckily for Salford, he was just short of the line.
Just another half a metre forward. Isn't he good in here, Ryan Atkins?
But let's give a rap to Robert Louis. He's the man that, whilst Ryan Atkins is in the action of trying to pull it off his chest, he probably didn't have the correct grip on the ball. But Robert Louis, who's learning on the job and getting better as this game's going along.
2, move! Hold, Chris, wait!
Pushing and shoving on the ground. Junior Sow to his feet. This is Wellham. Solid defence from Warrington. Halfway through the set, only 7 metres made. Josh Jones to Robert Louis again. Atkins doing the defensive duties once more.
They're struggling for metres here.
They really are. They're at tackle number 5. They're only 22 metres away from their own line. They've only made 19. Has Burgess heard the call that it's the last? Have Salford heard the call that it's the last? Obviously not. Here's Ben Westwood. In all sorts of strife now defensively, Salford. This is Kevin Brown.
A lot of panic setting then because they weren't making the metres.
Ball's come free again. Wellham will pick it up.
Time off. No advantage.
Zero tackle. It was a free play.
Time off.
It went on a long way, didn't it? I wonder whether Kevin Brown, when he offloads that ball, thinks, well,
There was no advantage.
I'll chance it because we'll get it back anyway.
Tell you what, guys, you picked it down at the other end of the field when Josh Wood at dummy half didn't look like he knew who he should pass the ball to. And on the last play for the ball to go to Luke Burgess, that's a major breakdown in communication in the side.
Brian, that came about because they weren't making metres carrying the ball. There was an awful lot of panic. They didn't know who to give the ball to.
While you're not making meters, you've got pivots paid to make those decisions and to get themselves prepared for a kick.
First move!
Warrington are back in possession with Mike Cooper. This is Darryl Clark, now Kevin Brown. He finds Tyrone Roberts, who in turn finds Bryson Goodwin.
2, move!
Looks strong, Bryson Goodwin. And Chris Wellham doing a decent job on him. The man who spent time at Bradford, goals in the Championship, got his chance here at Salford.
Ratchford to Westwood.
3rd, move! Goal line, Josh! Hold!
Josh Wood hanging on to his ankles. Good job he did as well. This is Brown. Chris Hill. Can't get the ball away.
4, move,
Craig Kopchak saw to that. Clamped the ball to his chest. Clark. Brown. Roberts. Atkins taking on. And in the end, flinging the ball behind him and out.
Well, he was just hoping that Josh Charlie had just kept his width and on the touchline area, tracks the centre, the winger comes in, there is space out wide. If Charlie just stays there on that sideline, that could have been a try.
And that understanding comes after many games together. They become almost telepathic, centre and winger. Some centres prefer the wingers to hug that touchline and stay out. Other centres, when they start veering towards them without saying anything, they want them to come back inside. But a loose pass gives Salford back possession.
But they've got to go a long way from one end of the field to the other to score a try. 16 14-6 it was at half-time. 14-6 it is now, and we're in the 63rd minute, coming up to 64 minutes. Just waiting for the first points of this second half.
Good footwork from Wella Haraki then makes it an easy carry for Craig Kopchak. Again, Liam Mossop just picking out Mike Cooper.
Oh, and he gets the penalty as well for a high shot.
Doesn't deviate his run. Liam Mossop, he goes straight and hard. He was a grand final winner with Wigan against Warrington in 2013. He's a tough player. Picks out Mike Cooper, earns his side a penalty.
Salford has shown a doggedness here today that's going to serve them well in this season. I think getting in the top 8 has got to be there. I mean, that's got to be the holy grail for them. I know they had a great start to last year before they faded away, but their squad has been stripped out a little. What I've seen today against the Warrington Wolves is Ian Watson's side playing with a lot of ticker. I said that's going to last them this season.
Mossop again. And a good job that Westwood got him down low because he could see the white line ahead of him. And here is Wood, likewise, goes wide and finds Flanagan. Here is Robert Louis, short ball, Junior Sow takes some stopping, Junior Sow. And they do stop him. Clark, Atkins and co. Jones driving it in again.
Where's Robert Louis?
Here he is. Haraki. Back to Louis. Well, Salford standing still, just
too many players in
passing
front
the
of the
ball
ball.
about, yeah. Last tackle this set coming up for Salford. Robert Louis stabs it in. And Stefan Ratchford just decides to run the ball over the dead ball line. It's a goal line dropout.
Well, they're a workman-like side, aren't they, Salford? They haven't got the stars that a number of other teams have got in Super League, but they do work hard for each other. When Robert Louis, Junior South, Josh Wood, I think they've all played well today. Chris Hill goes down on his haunches. Well, there's a problem with him. They're just pulling in the big ones for his team, knowing that his side really have been second best here in the second 40.
Almost time for you to use your Our League app to vote for the man of the match. The voting will be open shortly, and we'll have 4 names for you from which to choose. The former star of the game watching this afternoon with you. He will pick out the 4 stars that he believes are candidates for the Betfred man of the match, and then it'll be your turn to vote and have your say on the Rugby Football League's Our League app. That's how you vote.
Sorry, Ed, it's always interesting to look at the makeup of those man of the matches. Sometimes teams get 3 and it's 1, and that probably shows how dominant one side has been. I think Salford will have 2, and Robert Louis, maybe Mark Flanagan might be in there as well. He's had an influential game, but the Salford Red Devils have to get over the try line in this set of 6.
Yes, they do. Here is Flanagan, Little John, Louis. They tried hard. They've got 3 on 1 out wide if they could have got it there. But Atkins saw to it that they weren't getting the ball out wide. He got Shorrocks down. This is Mark Flanagan again. They're trying hard to break down this Warrington rear guard, but it's got Stephen Price's hallmark all over it at the moment, the defence. With Louis and Sow, solid again from Atkins, just flings him to the ground. Last tackle coming up for Salford. Louis stabs the ball in, and a mistake and a lost ball by Kevin Brown.
It's the hit from Lee Mossop,
he said it went backwards.
I didn't think he knocked it off. I'll have another look. I thought it was a brilliant play by Kevin Brown to hold on to it. Or did it?
He loses that ball.
Do you think he came off Mossop? He hit Mossop?
I think he loses that ball under pressure from Lee Mossop. He thinks he's got it, Kevin Brown, and all of a sudden Mossop hits him, whacks him, and then he drops it underneath there.
You're right.
Well, that's an escape for Warrington.
It's a massive call, lad.
A play like that should inspire you, shouldn't it? A call's gone against you. The Salford fans don't like it. They've seen it on the big screen.
We've referenced it, Stuart, all season. A fumble anywhere is generally, whether it goes backwards, forwards, or sideways, has been generally pulled as a knock-on this year. Not today.
Well, he's been very, very good on it, I think, Gareth Ewer, but I think he's just not read that one correctly. He did get assistance from the side, who advised him to play on, so he did.
First, move! Hold on, wait.
And Salford now deep in their own territory.
There's just not enough craft in their attack, is there? They're trying to run over the top of the Warrington Wolves when they're near the line. A little bit of more subtlety in attack, you might see them stretch this Wolves defence. At the moment, defensively, it's relatively comfortable for Warrington. That's going to have to change if Salford are going to score.
Niall Evans, whenever he's on the ball and on the pitch for Salford, he gets that pass, he becomes that threat and that running threat. And at the minute, they're just missing that last person.
And remember, they are also missing Manu Vatavai, out for the remainder of the season, probably his Salford career over. And Michael Dobson, of course, is not here this season. He was last. Little bit of attacking venom missing, but with Robert Louis out there, you never know. This is a decent kick. Charnley's underneath. He's tackled in the air there by Alford. And the penalty is given. And Charnley not happy with Craig Kopjak's challenge.
Step away.
There was a Salford player that went down, and I just think he collided and run into the back of a Warrington man. Well, Alford scores up.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, that is a penalty, and then it's that shot there from Craig Kopchak. It wasn't needed, and that's what Josh Charnley was saying to him. The big prop forward.
In reverse, faced by a winger.
You've already got the penalty, mate. There's no need to throw the ball. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. You threw the ball. You've already got the penalty. Just think about our actions.
Well, he's lenient as far as Charnley's concerned, but the original offence was the tackle in the air by Alfords.
Well, his only other option is to sin bin Charnley, because the penalty's already been awarded. You can't reverse it. So I think he's probably dealt with it right. Just calm it down and get on with it.
The reason Brian is so excited, Eddie, is because a winger is bullying a prop forward. That's why he's all riled up, Brian Carney.
Jackson hold. Goal 2.
Chris Hill getting Warrington to halfway. 10.5 minutes to full time. Warrington with an 8-point lead. Looking to put the game to bed here with Goodwin. That drifted forward to Lynham. No, it's not given.
Not picked up by the referee or the touch judge.
It's your mate, Barry, on this near side. You missed that. This is Crosby. Dom Crosby down the middle.
Move, Craig! Hold! Go. 4.
Clark, Roberts, Hughes,
Held!
Shorrocks and Sow dealing with the threat. Last one for Warrington then. In a while since they've been up here. And Roberts' crossfield kick is picked up eventually by Jack Littlejohn.
Well, he just loses possession, Goodwin. And again, I think Tyrone Roberts far too much time to kick that ball. When you're over there and you're defending near your try line and the markers are set, you've got to get out and work really hard. Could have been a dangerous kick for Salford, that.
Move! Back! Hold, Darrell, go!
So here we are, here are the contenders for the man of the match, the Betfred man of the match. Tyrone Roberts, Robert Louis, Josh Charnley and Toby King. 3 of Warrington and just the 1 of Salford. Make your preferences known via Rugby League's Our League app. And there is Alfords with a little knock on. Who do you fancy for the man of the match then?
Well, I think Toby King and Josh Charnley get it for the work they did in the opening 25 minutes of the game.
I think Robert Louis, if it turns out to be a beaten side, I think he's been outstanding. He's having to fulfil 2 roles. He's having to be a distributor and try and get on the end as well.
When did Toby King leave the field?
Darrell, you get bound, head right in. Mark Weller, right in. Get in.
Good question, actually.
Well, he's done well. He's done well to be in the running for man of the match.
So I think it was
Well, he got the first try, didn't he?
the first half, Eddie. Surprised Darrell Clark's not into the number 9 now, who's just passed the ball.
Chris Hill, as usual.
10 metres lead, hold. Wait, Mark, go.
To his feet and Clark. Here is Kevin Brown. Louis with a bump.
Hold the line while I wait. Hold. Goal 3.
Robert Louis is leading the way in the Our League app vote for man of the match. This is Chris Hill.
4. Move, Mark. Get square. Hold.
Plenty of time though for you to register your vote. This is Roberts. Drops it back on the inside to Hughes. Ratchford gets the ball away. Kevin Brown. And And I think Kevin Brown might just have wrapped up the points for Warrington to consolidate their place in the top three. Something is upsetting somebody.
Robert Louis, he's not happy. They had a little coming together, Eddie, earlier in the game, Robert Louis and Kevin Brown.
It doesn't matter, the try's been given. And Kevin Brown, Darrell Clark celebrating. I think they know that's the crucial try, the first score of this second half late on in the game.
I agree, Eddie. They know that just could be the match winner. Salford makes the mistake, and you've got someone like Stephen Ratchford. He looks to play. Good footwork. He knows that when Little John just turns his hips in, comes in, he wedges in, looking to get Ratchford. And as soon as he does that, there's space outside for Kevin Brown. There's the pressure that they were under on the sideline. The coaching staff celebrate.
So they got some players on that sideline, some former players, haven't they? Kylie Luluai, Lee Breers, John Clark.
They have. And Lee Breers, he's sporting he's sporting
Beard.
a John Wells
Beard.
The honey monster.
Yeah, it suits him, doesn't it?
He says he's growing it just to annoy people.
a bit like John Wells then.
Yeah.
I had a toy that looked like that when I was younger.
Let's be honest, even Ronaldo annoys people.
When he opens his mouth.
Here is Ratchford then, 18-6 up. This for 20 points to 6 and less than 7 minutes to play. 20 points to 6 it is.
Well, the irony, it was Kevin Brown, a man who knocked it on near his own line and was unseen by the referee. Massive game-changing moment that pops up on the other end of the field to take a short ball off Stephen Ratchford. Grounds the ball, gets up, has a word to say to Robert Louis. Well, it's academic now. 14-point lead.
Stay behind.
I think they'll take a lot from this result. Even though they're going to come on the wrong side of it, they'll come up with an L next to their name. I think they've really had a big dig at this Warrington side.
Good offload.
Forward as well already.
Good offload to Bryson. Goodwin. Goodwin down his left-hand side. Louis gets hold of his leg. Down he goes under pressure from Lamatazi and Lee Mossop as well. Ratchford. Akuala.
Held! Release mark! It's two. Hold!
Goes down.
Hold! Go.
Clark. Curry over the top. Bibby has to turn. He could end up in the in-goal area here. No, he doesn't. He does well, actually. Gets to ground quickly.
Does well then. He was under pressure, wasn't he? Kicking on the second plate. Ben Curry.
And every one of his teammates was ahead of him then. He had to scamper in quickly to get to dummy half.
They look a tired side, Salford, now. They've given absolutely everything to this game. And that opening 25 minutes, that's where the game probably, on reflection, was established. They battled away, did Salford. And they look tired now. And
3 games in 8 days.
I think that last try is just seeing it off. They don't believe that they can win now, Eddie. They were in with a chance when they were 8 points behind, but not now.
Now, well, time's against them as well.
Yeah.
Louis just humps the ball downfield. Lynham traps it well. Any Man City and Man United scouts might be interested in that.
Move! I mean, hold.
Well, they have footballers that big as Tom Lynham.
Oh, yes.
Two move! Back Junior, hold! Hold!
Charnley fighting to get to his feet, and Lamatazi wouldn't let him stand up. Well, did they just take 2 here, Warrington, and just take the heat out of the situation completely?
well, you'd be tempted, wouldn't you?
Yes, they are. That's what they're doing.
Looking at it.
I think both sides now are ready for that final whistle.
Ready for the bath?
Look at the game, Eddie, over the years, and it's changed when big wingers who bring the ball forward, they cause problems, they like to get to centre field, target some of the bigger forwards like Lamatazi. And Warrington have got 2 big, powerful, strong, fast men in Josh Charnley and Tom Lynham.
Do you feel a bit sorry for Mitch Brown being on the outer at the moment? It wasn't a bad start for the season for him.
Yeah, I mean, he probably was more shocked than anybody else when they suddenly signed Josh Charnley. There was talk with Josh being linked with Warrington in about November of last year, but then it all went quiet. So Mitch Barrett could be forgiven for thinking, I've got this place, I play well. That's not to be. But I'll tell you what, Eddie, they do have plenty of work to do in attack still, the Warrington Wolves. They've made heavy weather of this win. At times they look clunky in attack. Steve Price said at half-time to Angela that it was a bit too lateral. I totally concur with that.
Is that because of the workload?
No. I still think it's a work in progress, Warrington's attack.
Ratchford then to add 2 more points, which he does. This confirms it really for 5 wins in a row.
It's easy to say that Warrington have been off, but I'm going to give some praise to Salford. That Salford haven't really allowed them to play from 20 minutes, 25 minutes on. I think Salford have had a real dig
at
their playmakers.
They've battled. They just haven't had the wherewithal to get through them.
Yeah, they haven't had the skill. They haven't had that player that could, enough of those players that could cause problems. Yeah, Robert Louis been very good. Needs some backup as well.
Contested kick-off, but Ratchford the man underneath it.
Hold, Abby. Hold.
2.5 minutes to go. Warrington 5 wins in a row, and this reasonably impressive home run from Salford is brought to a halt. But those 2 vital games follow later on, Catalan, Wigan, and also, of course, Hull KR Widnes at 6 o'clock. There's the voting as it stands. Robert Louis just edging it ahead of Josh Charnley.
Stephen Ratchford knows what he's doing there. That was one of those penalties. It was very scrappy and players are grappling after tackles. Lamatasi gets a shove in the back and Stephen Ratchford.
I'm with you, There's Kevin Brown with a quick tap again.
Dom Crosby ploughing it down the middle. And he's lost the ball, I think. Has he?
He's still
got it. But
he got a whack from Little John and Dom Crosby jumped on him with the ball.
I was going to say, he dropped on him.
If he doesn't have the ball, that's a penalty.
Here is Atkins. I thought the ball had been pinched, and that's why Crosby dropped on him.
He was still in possession.
He just didn't appreciate a little lad hitting him round the chops.
This is Cooper. Atkins. Josh Jones going for a piggyback. Westwood to the line, and so close.
Hold the line. Hold.
Into the last minute.
Go forward.
Warrington have won it. No question of that. Back it comes to Ratchford. Drop goal? Yes. No. Wide.
Put the mockers on him, Eddie. You were confident when he struck that ball that it was going through.
Well, reminiscent of that game back in 2016 where Chris Sandow knocked over. Was it 45 metre drop goal?
Yeah, but it was 30 all at that time, Baz.
I know, I'm just trying to bring your point in. It was a wonderful game.
It was a wonderful game.
Completely different than the one that we're watching today, but
it also wasn't the third in 8 days, was it?
Yeah.
And lots are made of the Easter programme.
0. Move. Hold. Wait.
And the stress and the strain it takes out on the players, but I think it is evident for all to see.
Move. Back up the line. It's hold. Wait.
Josh Wood spreads it wide. Shorrocks. Jones, Junior Sow gets away from Atkin, gets away from Roberts, and loses his shirt in the process as the full-time siren sounds. Warrington have won. They were 14-6 up at half-time. Toby King, Charnley and Roberts. And until the 72nd minute, there was no score in the second half. Louis' try on 27 gave us 6-14 the scoreline. And then Brown with the try, Ratchford with the goal, and Ratchford with the penalty. 22 points to 6.